Hey, and welcome to video number 3. We're going to talk about what value should you give. And what I mean by that is think about your customer and think about their wants, their desires, their fears, their problems that they face, and your solution being your product or your service. So what kind of things are your customers willing to buy or your prospect willing to buy? What are they interested in? So I want you to begin to brainstorm and think in terms of your customers. What are they willing to buy? What kind of makes them take action? There are two things I want you to think of. You want to ask, what is the end goal? The ending action that you want your customers to take. Whether you want them to buy something, whether you want them to fill out a form, whether you want them to take the coupon and then buy something with that or take some sort of action. It doesn't really need to require them to buy anything right now. It just requires them to interact with your site or engage with them, ask questions, go on Facebook, do social media type stuff, go on Twitter, or take a picture or anything like that. Because you got to keep in mind, they will have their phones, their iPhone and their Android, and within those limitations, what kind of technology can you use? What do you want them to do? So think of an action. You don't have to think about what the value is or anything like that. Just think of the action. All right? The second thing I want you to do is think of the content, which of course comes before the action. So if you think of the action, you're thinking last thing first, then you'll need to think of what do the customers receive? What do they want to receive to get to that end goal? Do they need to receive a coupon? Perhaps. Do they need to receive a video? Do they need to receive answers to their questions? So what do they want to pay for? And I want you to pause for a minute and just think. You can pause this video, think about just two things. An action, whether it's buying or viewing, and then the content. Is it going to be a video? Is it going to be a landing page? Is it going to be pictures? Is it going to be a coupon? What are you going to give? Because that's going to be very, very important. Now, in terms of content, I want to talk about content right now, just to give you some ideas. You can provide different media types. You can provide a video. You can provide audio, podcasts. You can provide a website. It doesn't necessarily have to be a website. It could be a simple one-page landing page where they get to that landing page, and then from that point, what do they do after that? Do they fill out a form in terms of action? Do they enter their name and email address? Do they have to click a Facebook like button? Do they have to interact with your Facebook fan page? Do they have to interact with other people on Facebook? Do they have to use Twitter? Like what kind of media types can you provide? Video, images, and so forth. And a lot of this stuff relates specifically to your market. Some markets don't really like to have techie type stuff. I mean, they're willing to scan a QR code, but from that QR code, they would rather read text. Then some markets would rather watch videos. So you want to think of, in terms of your market, how does the media types relate to your market? It's not a one-size-fits-all YouTube or anything like that. So you want to think videos, photos, music, and so forth. And then you want to think, what is this going to be? Is it going to be an exclusive offer or time-sensitive offer, and so forth? And I will say, any type of exclusive offer, especially time-sensitive offer, if they scan something, if they scan something and it is a time-sensitive offer, just keep in mind that QR code is going to stay the same. But if you scan it, you can always change your website. So you can always do time sensitive offers. So you could say you could do 3 days for that specific person, or 3 hours, you get this amount. Once that 3 hours passes, then you can change to a different offer and so forth. And one thing stays true: if you have a URL, the QR code goes to one URL. As long as you can redirect that URL to a different site, then you can always change whatever is on that landing page. But if let's say that QR code you direct to a YouTube video, and let's say your YouTube video gets taken down. If that's the case, then that's going to be a problem because you're not going to have access to that URL. So the whole idea is if you do a time sensitive offer or an exclusive offer, just make sure that URL goes to your website or something that you have full control over, and just have somebody redirect that to a video, music, and so forth. But exclusive and time sensitive offers work really, really well. Free downloads also work very well. You say, depending on what the product is, and like I said, again, you have to think about what it is your customers want, and you have to think of in terms of what type of market that is and what they want. Usually, if you can provide something that they're willing to pay for, like let's say, for example, that you have a service and you provide them with tips and advice that they would normally have to pay you for money to receive. So they scan the QR code, you get your information, and then they get that download, they get that advice, or so forth. Contests, special offers, coupons, and gifts actually work very, very well as well, because everybody's always looking for a coupon. Everybody's always looking for special offers, especially if they are your current buyer and they're coming back. So you can constantly dig into your back end and constantly sell to those who are loyal to you. You have secret information combined with the exclusiveness. So if you have some secret information that you're not giving to everybody, but you're giving to those who scan the QR code, and it's exclusive to those people that scan that QR code, and you tell them that's another reason for them to scan that QR code. So you're trying to give people a reason why you should scan that QR code. So anytime you make anything exclusive, people will take action. And that's the beauty of exclusiveness, secret, because people are very curious nature type people. People are curious type. So because they're curious and because they want your product or service anyways, giving that secret information or exclusiveness increases that want and that desire. Another thing you can have is social media interaction. You can interact and receive some. A lot of places will say, especially if it's not a tangible item, a lot of places are like, hey, if you send this out to all your friends and get your 10 friends to join, you have scripts to do that, you will receive a free download. So interact, receive something. There's scripts out there for social media, for Facebook and for Twitter, that allow you to actually do all of that kind of stuff. And something that allows the client to engage with the product, service, and you. So how can you get your clients to engage with the product? Well, let me give you an example. You could have, let's say you're selling something. You're a local store and you're selling, let's say you're a restaurant, and you give them a QR code, then you also give them a coupon, but at the same time you allow them to engage with the product, the service. So they get to the product or the restaurant and they see the food and they see everything, and you appeal to their wants and desires and needs at the same time, and at the same time you give them a coupon. So what you're doing is you're combining all of these things together to get them to engage with the product, the service, and with you. So kind of get an idea right now as to what you want to do. If you don't necessarily know or how to do what you want to do, let's say, for example, you want to create a landing page or a website. In the next video in the mobile friendly landing pages, I will show you a brief overview on how to set up a website. I'm not really going to go too much in detail because I'm going to assume that you have a landing page. But there are places out there that will allow you to, create landing pages. And I'll show you how to do that even if you don't know where to start. So you have a place to start. You can do all of that. If you want to create a video, you don't need anything fancy. You can either hire a video specialist or you can do it yourself. You can get a video recorder and record yourself or record the product and so forth. These days, you got to remember that people use YouTube all the time, and then people are used to amateur videos all the time. So you don't really have to have a professional grade video unless you're catering to specific niches that look at the presentation, everything like that. So just keep in mind, keep it simple, and I'll show you in the next video how to convert your website, your landing page, to make it mobile friendly, how to create a landing page if you don't already know how. I won't talk too much about that, but I'll show you and point you in the right direction in case you don't know how to do that. So with that said, let's move on to video number 4.